Hi everyone, I want to kind of show off one of my favorite bundles. It's a mapping skills bundle, and this bundle comes with so much. It's pretty much everything that you're going to need to teach mapping skills. I kind of set it up where each activity follows a lesson cycle. So I wanted to show you that this bundle also comes with a free mapping skills lesson plan guide, and I kind of want to go through that lesson plan guide with you. So each lesson plan guide includes a unit lesson resource breakdown, a list of resources that are in the unit and where they fall in the lesson cycle, a suggested pacing guide for the content, and an overview of the lesson planning sequence parts. Now, I know a lot of people follow different types of lesson plans, but this will give you the gist of it. So each of these packets includes where you can find the classroom decor, and each of these, when you click on it, it'll bring you right to it. So if you purchase the bundle, you'll be able to download it as you need it. There's the section for setting goals and monitoring progress. We all know this has a huge return on our investment. So this is a way for students to track their objectives and I can statements as they go through the unit. Then for bell work, I always like to use anchor charts. You can either give them to students individually with questions, or you can post them around the room and do gallery walks and some other activities. These ideas are within the anchor charts. And then I am a stickler for guided notes. My kids have always done really well with guided notes, always liked guided notes. And these are really great interactive guided notes because they have spots for students to reflect, for students to apply the information that you're giving them, and they're short, so they're not overwhelming. And then this is one of my best sellers, the Mapping Skills Activities and Choice Board. So over here, you'll see a list of all the activities, and this will help you with planning because if your lesson includes types of maps, you know that you can just go right here and you can pull this up and you can use just these activities, or you can let the kids have preference and choose so many activities. And they're also digital as well as print. Most of these activities are digital as well as print. So the next part of the lesson is review games and activities. So there's an I Have Who Has game card game. There are several picture puzzles, including mapping skills, types of maps, longitude and latitude, continents and oceans, and these are all paper-based. But there's also the map puzzles where you can either cut them out and have kids match the puzzle, or there's a digital link where students can just drag the pieces where they go to make the puzzle. Those are extremely popular and they're no prep. And then, of course, there's a section for vocabulary and concept projects. So these are like wheels of knowledge. So students would make a wheel. I have instructions in here. You can use a paper plate, or you could just put it on a piece of cardstock. But the students research key topics within the unit. So on this one for types of maps, students would find information about the different types of maps, and there is always a rubric checklist to go with those so that the kids know exactly what is expected and you can get a better product. So the next thing is a study guide. I call these just the essentials. They're usually just a few pages if you print them back and front. I know that most people have told me that they print them 2 to a page, and that a couple people have actually used these for flipped classroom by giving the students the information, and then as they go through the activities and the unit, the students use the information to complete the activities of the unit. So I thought that was a great idea. And then another section that is included in this is our projects, okay? I always feel like every unit should have a project assignment that kids work on as you go through the unit a little bit at a time. So since this one is mapping skills, there's a build a map in a month project, and it's a calendar where students can build a map in a month. And then of course there is a what country am I game. There's a make a cube where kids, I call this where you make a history instead of like a Christmas tree, you make a history cube. So it's kind of fun. The other two are Scavenger Hunts, where kids actually go through digital links and they find out information about different places. One of them is the ancient world, and one of them is the United States, so the geography of. So it all ties back into those mapping skills. And then the last thing in this unit is going to be assessments. And that's going to include map skills quizzes, historical thinking quizzes, and all of that's right here for you. The next part of the planning guide includes a suggested pacing. So I would spend about 2 weeks on this unit. When I taught this to ninth graders, And I've been an administrator. I'm an administrator now, so I know that when I taught this with ninth graders and we did this, we spent 2 weeks on this unit. So this would kind of be the scoping that I used, and it worked really well with ninth graders. And then in each packet is also going to be a year-long scope and sequence, so you can kind of see why I fit this in for 2 weeks and then what I covered throughout a 36-week year. And it just kind of paces it out. And if you want to use the resources in that, those are all hyperlinked, but that's there for you. And then I always include this, especially if this is your first year teaching. I wanted to make sure that you understand that when I aligned those components with parts of the lesson, that you understood what I was talking about. So if you just needed a quick reference for that, that's there. Also included a really good just blank calendar and instructions where you can scope out your date, your topic, and what specific activities you want to use from the unit. And then, of course, there's links to other things if you're interested. But like I said, this is one of my best sellers, and it's one of my favorite units to teach. There's so much you can do with this. If you have any questions, please ask me a question through my store, on Facebook, Instagram. I'm Learned Lessons. I hope that you enjoy Mapping Skills unit.